Alright, welcome back. It's like 4 in the morning or something right now. And I'm here recording this video, trying to get it out before the color cup leaves. Trying to be a little quiet, to be a little respectful here. But anyways, so I'm running the same team I posted in my last video. And I just had another insane run yesterday. I actually did do, on top of showing you these next 5 sets, I did do a bunch of battles this morning, and I finally got my MMR, or ELO. It was crazy because when I was like right under, I needed like 2 more wins in rank 18 to get to 19, and I was sitting there in the lobby waiting. I thought there was something wrong with my game. Like around 3 a.m. here on the West Coast, I was lobbying, looking for a battle, and I was sitting there for about 2 or 3 minutes not getting a match. And then finally I did, and I ended up going like 2-3 twice. Like 2-3 to get to 19, and then 19's the rank where you just, pretty much no matter what you get, you go to 20. You just get 5 chances at getting an encounter with the basic rewards. So pretty much I went 2-3, 2-3 to end this crazy streak. And my ELO was like 2300, which I thought was actually pretty good considering that I definitely did auto wreck during my climb this like months ago, and I clearly haven't been playing. But I was like, dang, that's actually no wonder I was not getting any opponents, because my MMR must have been so high that it was just like waiting for finding me like a opponent who might be similar matchmaking. But yeah, that was kind of crazy, honestly. But yeah, unfortunately too, I mean, this is a great run, but honestly these battles are so insane. I was if I'm being honest, I was just watching more One Piece. I was saying in my last video, I've just been binge watching One Piece, and I was just like drinking beer, like playing One Piece, like barely paying attention. Like, I don't know, I just felt like I was in the zone. I was just kind of like rushing a lot of these battles, and these weren't easy. Some of these were like extremely difficult. But yeah, even in regards to me saying the 2-3s that I had, the 2-2-3s that I had from this morning that aren't in this video, honestly, they were just like tougher matches in general, and I felt like I had win cons. I just kind of let them slip through the cracks, just barely. But yeah, great battles regardless. And if you've been paying attention to my channel as of lately, I'm not even like a sweat at all in GBL these days, nowhere near it. But the fact that I might actually be able to hit veteran this week is kind of cool, because I wasn't even planning on really playing extensively, but I've just been kind of vibing in the color cup. I don't know how much I'll play this morning. I figured while my phone is charging right now, and I was just kind of taking a break from battles, because it is Go Battle Week. To clarify, I didn't even really mention that it's Go Battle Week. So you can do up to, I think, 100 battles a day, which is pretty insane. And honestly, if I'm feeling up to it this week, that could be a good opportunity for me to climb. I guess Corviknight's coming out. I mean, I think it's releasing today. I already saw Jonkus put out a video literally before I started recording this, which is, I mean, it's a time zone thing, so that's the grind. But yeah, so I guess I could focus on some of the matches here. Dugong and Marowak, I got pretty like insane luck being able to just barely live that and like threaten their shield, so they just let Dugong go, which I was pretty happy about, because I could just realign my Cradily here on the Stunfisk, which I didn't see a lot of Stunfisk in this format, so I think this is probably one of the only Stunfisk I've ever seen. But yeah, I saw some really interesting teams this morning that I might consider adapting. Like, I don't know if I'll make another video on Color Cup. I was thinking about recording some of my battles, but I just, I decided not to, because I just figured I've already like grinded out 2 full videos at the tail end of the format. And yeah, again, it's like super early here. I'm probably like half asleep, but yeah, for the most part, this Cradily lead has been super awesome. I mean, I did see a lot of like Marowak leads today when I was playing. I saw some really interesting adaptations to the meta. Again, I'm kind of just like going into a lot of this blind. I don't really know like what people are commonly running in this cup. I don't really know the meta entirely, because even climbing from where I was already at, getting to where I am in this video, I was like I said, like rank 18, just grinding. Like I was at rank 16 yesterday or 2 days ago, and bam, I'm like already at Elo, which I feel like is pretty good for 2 days just playing. And yeah, I mean, I really like the Marowak with Fire Spin, but I think Hex could be unique just because there might be some scenarios where you might want to be a little more spammy, but I actually think that the Fire Spin's actually really helpful and does some decent damage as well. Yeah, I really like Cradily because it just has, it's like kind of like a neutral like grass type. It's not like completely obliterated here by some of the fire types. It does actually put on a little bit of pressure against them. Even against something like Abomasnow, I can kind of stay in, at least throw like one rock slide. Usually that's how I'll try to play it out. I've noticed a lot of the Marowak are running Shadow Ball. I don't know if that's just because they don't have access to Shadow Bone, but that was kind of catching me off guard a bit too. Like Shadow Ball over Shadow Bone damage calcs. Alright, so yeah, this is kind of a hefty one. So I'm going to focus a little more on the shadow casting now I got all that out of my system. So jump left lead. I usually just stay in, honestly, and I just take the first move no matter what it is. Usually it's Energy Ball. And I go for the double rock slide, which at this point puts him in a low enough range where I'm going to just bring in a threat. And I guess in this matchup I decided to bring in Marowak just because I thought maybe the Fire Spin damage would be threatening enough to just farm down. And they do end up, I think that's a Water Gun Lantern I see. And that is a little annoying, but as long as I can trade shields here, I guess it's not the worst case scenario. And interesting enough, I thought I was gonna just barely get to that second one, but unfortunately I did not. But Palkia I can bring in here, and I figured, you know what, it's probably Surf, so I'm just gonna let it go through. And that is exactly what it was. So I threw Aqua, Tail, and they don't shield, which I thought was kind of insane. Like, I don't know what happened there, to be honest. I mean, maybe they didn't, I don't think it really mattered at that point, especially if I caught a move. So I got the Gastrodon lead, they switch in the Tentacruel, and instead of immediately switching out, I figured I could maybe get off some damage or a shield. And now I'm going to bring in Palkia, and I'm going to let this go through because I figured even if they throw Scald, I can resist it. And they do end up doing Acid Spray, and unfortunately because of the way this is going to work out, I'm going to have to at least commit one shield. But winning switch is actually way more important than the shield advantage here, because Gastrodon versus Cradily, that's a pretty beneficial matchup for me, and they end up having Talonflame here in the back, so I'm not too afraid. I mean, it could be Brave Bird, but I think even then, I think I might be able to barely just live, but that would have been the worst case scenario if it's Brave Bird. But it is Fly, so that allows me to just barely live, and I can actually commit a shield and potentially get the shield from Talonflame here, or at least knock it out with Shadowbone. I do end up getting the shield, and this was actually insane because I think they may have overtapped, because somehow Cradily comes in and like straight up rock slides and just saves my butt. Like, kind of crazy. Also, if you're watching this, please hit the like button. It does help my content out a lot here on YouTube. And thanks again for tuning in. Add Cargo. I think I decided to insta swap, considering that my backline, both of them are relatively good options against the Mad Cargo. And in comes Bullfish, which I bring in Palkia for. And yeah, even with Aqua Tail resisting, it still just does so much damage. So I'm just gonna go for Draco because I'm just like, whatever. If they don't shield, then that's a punishment. And holy smokes, they do not shield. So they just end up quitting, which, you know, I don't blame them after pretty much getting nuked out of the sky there. Decidueye. So with Decidueye, it's a pretty good Pokemon to use here if you can be sneaky with it. I mean, I don't have to really shield the Shackle or whatever it's called, the ghost move. But yeah, it depends. Like I've been out, I can see like Decidueye catching me off guard, and absolutely, you know, if they bait correctly. Spirit Shackle, that's what it's called. That lowers your defense. It's a guaranteed defense drop, which if you shield that and then they can like, it's their lower energy move, that could be kind of bad really fast. But yeah, this is not actually the example of it really getting out of control. Definitely a great matchup for my backline here against the Toxapex. Even one Brine, I could technically afford to take it. I do end up shielding it though. And I am going to go for the Shadow Bone. I was hoping to maybe catch a move, but apparently they thought they could farm me down. And I was able to get to a Rock Slide. Another situation where Cradily just like shows up and one-shots a Talonflame. Pretty amazing. Gotta love it. One of, you know, it's like, it's because it's a shiny Cradily, clearly. Okay, so I get Whimsicott lead here, which, you know, isn't like the worst or best. I mean, sometimes they run Seed Bomb, but yeah, that's what this one is running. So I decide I think I am just going to take 2 Seed Bombs to the face and throw 2 Rock Slides. And I think I'm going to actually switch in. No, I don't switch in. I just decided to let it go because I figured I could probably, it's better to let Marowak have the switch. Like, I don't want to switch in Marowak and be trapped, but if I let Marowak come in and farm down and have the switch, that could be beneficial for me. They end up having more Pekka, which can be pretty scary, honestly. I am gonna just take the first move, thinking it's the Psychic Fang. I do get a shield with my Bone Club. I'm gonna insta swap to my Shadow Palkia, try to get as much damage off with Dragon Breath on more Pekka as I can. They end up having Charge a Bug in the back, so I get my Aqua Tail off, and that does a decent amount of damage. And honestly, this is looking like I could potentially just barely salvage this match. And I am able to just barely farm the Charge a Bug down there, and I can get the last shield, and from here I can farm down. It is, I mean, getting the shield didn't really even matter, I guess, because I just farmed out with the Fire Spin. Pretty insane battles. But yeah, there's another 5-0. And okay, so I get Pelipper lead. This one's not like honestly too bad either. I mean, I can take a Weather Ball, and Rock Slide is gonna hurt on this Pelipper right back at it. So yeah, as you can see, because of my grass rock typing, it's pretty much just neutral against water. And they end up making a great catch on Ferrothorn, but that also puts me in a great position to just bring in Marowak and completely farm it down. And they will use Thunder, but I'm not really worried about that. Having the energy is going to be better. And also, it doesn't, as long as I win the switch, I think it's fine. They end up having Swampert, which I found fairly interesting. Maybe because the fact that they had the, maybe because they were afraid of my Cradily, they brought this in. But yeah, honestly, I decided to just bring in Palkia. And looking pretty good, to be honest. I can like safely get to this Aqua Tail and remove Swampert. From here, it's like I just don't shield with Palkia, or as you can see here, they may be they're trying to build some energy, and I just get to an Aqua Tail and remove Pelipper. Alright, so Toxapex lead. I think, yeah, like I usually just stay in here and go straight Energy Ball or Grass Knot. Why do I keep saying Energy Ball? I think I haven't been saying energy ball, but there has been energy ball being used on other, like from other Pokemon. And I think maybe that's what I was thinking. Because yesterday when I made my video, I think I made that mistake. I don't think that's happened today as far as I can remember, but it's also been like 15 minutes of me trying to remember these battles. But yeah, these all just happened last night around like 7 p.m.-ish to like 9 p.m. Grinded them out, which, you know, I actually felt pretty good about it. The game was feeling like stable, and that's like the thing, you know, that usually stops me from playing consistently is like if I'm getting a lot of crazy lag. And I don't know, I didn't do anything differently. It just feels like potentially maybe it's just in a good state. I can't be too sure. Anyways, Shadow Palkia was just like insane, yo. Like legitimately like oppressive. Super oppressive. Alright, this is looking kind of dicey because they got that shield scenario going on. I'm gonna have to switch instantly to Marowak, and they can take me down here. I don't remember if I could even prevail here. Yeah, I think I just, as you can see, I just barely clutched it with the bullet seeds from Cradily. Yeah, kind of insane. Which cash lead? Yeah, pretty much. Like the Mud Boys are great matchups for me. I decided I just want to bring in Marowak against Poliwrath, and even a Scald. I'm like, whatever, I'll just take it. And the way I was looking at this was, I'm gonna put a lot of faith on the fact that maybe just having like, I think I bring Palkia in here just to generate energy. Yeah, and it kind of stops Poliwrath from getting a move off, I suppose. I guess the way I was looking at this was, I mean, more than likely they might not have a grass type. I mean, I don't feel like everyone runs grass in this format. Excuse me. And they do have Charge-a-Bug, which honestly is looking really good for me. I do have the ability, I think, to even take X-Scissor here if I really wanted to, but I don't think it's really necessary that I do. Yeah, I have a really great scenario. I think I was thinking about taking it, but I was like, really, there's no point. I could just kind of generate a slight amount of extra energy. And I wanted to insta-swap to Palkia here to catch a move on Witch Cache. That was kind of insane that I was able to time that out, because I feel like the Witch Cache, yeah, like as you see it, or through another Mud Bomb, that could have gone wrong really fast. I needed to catch one of those moves on Palkia. And I have enough energy now. I made sure I had enough to get my Grass Knot off on Witch Cache and my Rock Slide on Charge-a-Bug. So just narrowly pulling that one off. But yeah, this run of just playing the Color Cup is the main reason why I placed at a decent MMR. I mean, like I said, this video from yesterday and the one I'm showing you right now that you're watching, essentially these, like all these battles, like somehow took, because like understand that actually, even when I did my, now that I think about it, even when I did my auto rec stream, I think I didn't do terrible. I think I actually had I had like a decent amount of positive sets, which I was shocked about too. So I don't even remember what my win record is right now, but like I said, I mean, I guess I'll try to see what happens this week, but I wasn't really planning on hitting Legend this season after not really playing majority of the season. But if I just get into the groove of things and I'm vibing it and I'm like finding a team I like that like it's cutting through the meta nicely, I don't know, anything's possible at this point. I mean, I've done it in the past, but yeah, it's just not my driving factor these days. I'm just trying to have fun when I'm playing it, and I mean, how can I not be having fun when I'm getting like all these 5-0s? Like legitimately, like after not playing for like weeks, and like even in reality then, like even more casually throughout all of that time as well, it's been like pretty casual, like filthy casual. I've been referring to myself these days. But yeah, I really like Cradily in this format because it just loves to one-shot these Talonflames, and it has a decent enough typing that can actually kind of like take a hit or two from most of the Pokemon in this format. Yeah, and honestly, like, I think one of the MVPs for this team is absolutely the Shadow Palkia. It's like insane the amount of damage it just happens to output. It's over the top, like, holy smokes, it's kind of insane. Sorry if I'm looking kind of crazy, because I was literally just like sleeping, fell asleep for like a couple hours, and then I woke up. I'm like, I might as well just do some of my battles. And then like I gotta work this morning, you know, it's like but you know, it feels good. I'm not like complaining about it. I'm not trying to make it, I'm just trying to apologize if I look crazy right now, or like I need sleep, because that is correct. I do need sleep. So yeah, I guess that's another 5-0. Like, holy smoke. Yeah, like I had such a crazy run. So I actually get Shadow Palkia here as a lead, which I do think, you know, justifiably is a pretty good lead. There are some pretty nice matchups for it. But I'm going to stay in with Cradily and go for a Rock Slide. They do commit the shield. In this scenario, like, I want to get the shield and then insta-swap into my Palkia. And, you know, unfortunately, I probably should have just taken the Aqua Tail on Cradily, potentially. That may have been a good option, but this isn't the worst. I mean, they do end up shielding, and that now means that, you know, we're even on shield. So I kind of have to make a decision. What am I going to do here? So I bring in Marowak, and yeah, I'm going to just take the drill run because I have no choice but to. And at this point, I thought, I didn't know if I could farm down fast enough. And unfortunately, even here, I could have like one-shot Quagsire, potentially. Yeah, I kind of just messed this up. I feel like I needed to take that first Aqua Tail on Cradily because I would have lived and just saved my shields. Because Marowak could do a little bit more maneuvering with some shield advantage in the back line. Because I actually played some similar teams like that this morning, getting up to my placement that I don't have on this video, and I kind of like remembered how that match was, and I was like, yeah, maybe I should play that slightly different. But you know, it's easy in hindsight. You know, I was saying yesterday, clearly I've never used Shadow Palkia before, and this is a format that I'm not even familiar with at all. I just kind of like went on PV Poke and tried to use things I already had built. Because as you might also know if you're a subscriber or a follower of my channel, I have been struggling with charge TMs for like what feels like months. I really wish there was like a higher drop rate of charge TMs. Like, it almost feels like it should just be like a default reward with how like expendable they are in the game, because it's kind of insane. Like during the rocket takeover, it's like you want charge TMs. Even just changing movesets, you're not guaranteed that using 1 or 2 charge TMs is going to be enough. Sometimes I've used like over a dozen just to get one move, like especially if there's a Pokemon that has a wider move pool. It's a nightmare. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, also just like on a side note, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, I actually have been producing music, and I've been since like middle of last year. I put out like I started working on my first solo album, and I released that in September. You should totally check out my Spotify. There's a link actually in the description, or if you want to just go to my like YouTube homepage, there should be a link in the top corner to my Spotify. It would mean the world to me if you checked out my album Fortified Time. It would really help for the algorithm too on Spotify. If you like ska music, punk music, if you like reggae, if you like just kind of like surf rock in general, like something a little different, maybe with like a Latin hint, jazzy at times, definitely check it out. It would mean, like I said, mean the world to me. And I'm actually already almost done with my second album, which I think I produced a little stronger. Like, the songs are all great on my first album, and this one, it's just, I didn't even know how to like, I'm a like sound engineer. Like, I learned how to mix and master throughout my first album. And I actually have like an EP of a side project that when I was in Pittsburgh earlier this month, I brought my audio interface and me and my buddy, we recorded like some stuff that we're going to be releasing on an EP from one of our old projects. So it's been sick, yo. I love creating music. I'm a huge fan of just like creating stuff out of nothing, whether it be like drawing, like animation, music. And yeah, I mean, this is like my Pokemon channel. I mean, this channel specifically is a lot of times centered primarily around PvP content on Go. I mean, I've had this channel for like 5 years. It's crazy. And I used to be more active in general in Pokemon Go, in the like streaming scene on Twitch and all that jazz. I've really just kind of like taken more of a casual approach to playing the game and making content for it these days, which again is, I'm kind of just going on like a crazy tangent, right? But that's why you watch these videos anyways, probably because you're just hanging out or just, I'm like ecstatic that I'm like just getting these crazy dubs. like I was saying, I was just kind of watching like my boy Luffy on the TV trying to be king of the pirates. I freaking love One Piece, yo. I mean, I don't care how long it is. It's just so, my biggest complaint about most things I watch these days is just like, it's just not compelling stories. And something about One Piece, it's like so weird, but I love that about it because it sets up the worlds so good. And I don't know, it's like so fun. And the fact that it's so long and I'm like that engaged in the story, like I was saying yesterday, I'm like 600, like 30 something episodes into the show or series. Like there's definitely some filler and like weird pacing issues at times, but like, dude, it's like one of the most, I can understand why it's so popular now. And there's a language barrier also that like there has to be taken into consideration. Like a lot of the things that are in the show are like puns that can't be translated from Japanese to a foreign language with ease, you know? Like localization of dubs and such have to kind of take liberties in certain scenarios. Like how do we make this joke or this thing make sense? Or maybe that it doesn't even matter and it's never really like implied. They're like in the same context, but yeah, it's like, I can understand why it's such a, like, and I have no one, like, I don't really know a lot of people that watch it, so I don't really have people to like nerd out about it with, so I'm just out here like going nuts watching it. Yeah, because like, maybe I've talked about it before on my, I know I've talked about it on stream, I don't know if I probably talked about it on this channel somewhere, like on a live stream or in a video, but like Star Wars, like I used to be a huge Star Wars fan. Like I guess I still am a Star Wars fan to a degree, but it's definitely like lost the plot. Like I tried watching like when I saw The Acolyte, I was like, this franchise is dead. Like it already kind of was dead after the sequels, but I had some glimmers of hope with like The Mandalorian and like especially Andor. I was like, dude, this is actually good. I was like blown away. I'm like, this is actually a good show. Like the story is compelling. Like the characters are like fleshed out. It's like rare that you see stuff like that. It's like sometimes like nowadays it just feels like characters are designed to serve like serve something entirely different than like the story. It's like they're just put there to feel like something, and then it's like there's no like depth to them. There's a lot of like plot armor. I'm going off like a crazy tangent here, but I mean, I don't really normally record like these long videos. The fact that I was able to sit here for like 30 minutes and even talk when like I probably increasingly got louder when I said I should. It's like 4:20 in the morning. That's crazy. I looked at the clock and it says 4:20. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, I mean, you get it. It's like this team is awesome, and you're awesome if you're still here watching this video, because people like you are why I still make content on YouTube. Let's be real. Like, I don't always get like crazy amount of views or anything, but It doesn't really bother me, you know? Like, I've gone through the trials and tribulations of content creation already. Like, I feel like it's like actually kind of nice to just kind of be in this like really chill pocket where I'm not like expected to do things. I don't need to like show up the things. Like, I used to be really into that type of stuff, but I don't know, as I've like gone to a bunch of that stuff too, I've realized I'm like, I don't know if it's just getting older. I've always been a little introverted, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm just like, I don't want to be around people. I just want to be like being a homebody, working on my art, like sitting here for like hours with my headphones on, like moving like the decibel of like an instrument up and down slightly, just tweaking it to see if like stuff you'll never ever notice when you listen to it. Like I'm sitting here like thinking of making huge changes in what I'm doing. But I mean, to be honest, like I've made a lot of growth in my producing. Like I'm already a songwriter and musician. Like I've played in a band, like, and all that. It's just like producing is such a different art form than writing a song. Like you can write a good song, and like honestly, at the end of the day, if it just sounds good, like that's like the art of it. But learning how to use compression and saturation and like literally like it's crazy. Like I completely probably mixed my first album in like the most insane way because I was trying to learn as I was like doing it instead of just like thinking everything had to be perfect. I think arguably like my album I'm putting out, I don't know when the date is. I mean, all the songs are pretty much recorded. I'm just like mixing them all to make them sound like as best as they can. I have a single coming out at the end of this month that's going to be on that album. I was thinking about maybe releasing one more single for it. It's like a 8-song album, but I might just drop the album after this single also. I don't know. Like I just want to keep putting out music, honestly. That's really what I've been focusing on, aside like, you know, other personal stuff that's like not important to mention here at all. It's just like, you know. Oh, also, I don't know if you can see, but this little thing right here is actually like an old compilation called Ska for Life that my band was on in like the early 2010s or something. I'm actually releasing a demo from my old band that I found. It was like one of our original recordings we made in 2008. It was like of our song called Dark Chambers Dead by Kiwi Punch. I have the album version live on Spotify and YouTube Music, but I'm going to be uploading our original demo like early next month because it does sound freaking awesome. And there's actually a lot of history behind that recording. It's where it's my first song that I've ever, like I learned how to play guitar in my first band because I originally was just going to be the singer, but we needed more to our sound. So I started learning how to play guitar. But anyways, I'm going on a tangent. Like I need to go to sleep. Thanks for tuning into the video. And with that being said, the Sass Squad is getting stronger each and every day. You have a good morning, evening, afternoon. Remember tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. If you'd like to check out more Go Battle League content from me, consider watching this video right here or this video right here.